Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Madison Kills Everything. I'm only partially kidding when I say I kill everything in the garden. In this instance, I just got a really bad pack of seeds, and I just have a bunch of strawberries that decided to never grow.
But no, the strawberries didn't grow yet.
No, we're still waiting on the strawberries.
Oh no, the other ones didn't grow yet, but this one didn't grow, and these one didn't grow. There's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, do you know what those are?
What?
They're tomatoes.
And what's this one?
Tomato.
Strawberries.
Yep, all strawberries.
Come over here. I see a seed right there.
Yeah.
I hope it's gonna grow smart and then big. Because smart and big is my favorite.
Small and big is your favorite?
Yeah.
I'm really frustrated with the strawberries because it wasn't just like one or two pods didn't sprout up. It was the entire packet of seeds. And as some of you know, Sydney's favorite fruit is strawberries and other berries. And those are the two things I have the most trouble with when it comes to growing. Last year, I got a couple of grapevines and I got some blueberry bushes that I was trying to start in containers because I've seen videos and I've read up on articles that says you can do it. Well, I'm not quite sure of that. As you can see in the background right there, my raspberry bushes are doing pretty good, or at least one of them is. One I'm a little sketchy on, but my blueberry bushes, or they're kind of blueberry twigs, aren't looking the greatest. I've put them in containers that are at least 5 gallons for soil, and as you can see, little buddy ain't doing so well. He still has some green on him, and if we go back here, we have the same problem to where they're just not looking too good. And this is what happened last year too, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I'm just trying to keep them alive until I can get them outside. But on a good note, my raspberry and blackberry bush are doing much better, so I'm pretty hopeful for them that we can get them outside fairly soon. Other than some non-existent strawberry plants, I also have some tomato seedlings that are doing really well. They're a little leggy and a little more grown out than I normally like to see in my pods, but I am looking at transplanting them this weekend. The tomatillos aren't doing as well, but they are following up. I might give them another week to transplant them. And my peppers are finally starting to sprout up a bit, both the spicy and the bell peppers. So I'll give them another 2 to 3 months to grow and get a little better. My biggest problem I'm having right now when it comes to gardening and transplants is the weather can't really figure out what it wants to do. One second we have 3 inches of snow covering the ground, and by lunch it's all melted away into a muddy mess. And when it comes to spring, it's not that big a deal, and my cold hardy vegetables aren't going to be as bothered by it. But right now, all of my less cold hardy vegetables, such as my tomatoes and my peppers, aren't really liking it. And that frost date seems like it's getting further and further out. So I'm getting a little peeved off by the weather, but that's just because I'm so excited for spring to actually be here so I can work in the garden. I will say there is at least one of us who still really enjoys the snow, and that is our little husky. She is absolutely loving the random snowstorms. We have one area on the property where the snow has piled up into a drift that is a lot higher and condensed than the rest of the property that she's been pouting on. It's like a foot wide and just along the back of the house. And she'll sit there and she'll lay on it and chomp on it, and that's kind of like her favorite spot on the property. So when we actually get snow in, she is reluctant to ever come inside. Snow puppy. Kiwi. You wanna come inside, Bubba? You wanna come inside? Is you a snow puppy? You wanna come inside? Another problem I'm having with it being so back and forth on hot and cold is we did move our chicks out of the brooder and they're doing extremely well and they're getting super, super big. In fact, I don't think y'all have seen them since they were about yay big. And now they are like 3 times that size. I'll show you real quick. You're gonna get a kick out of how big they have gotten. Hey, babies. Hi, babies. What you doing? What you doing? But yeah, they've gotten so big, and at first that little coop fit them all just nicely when we moved them out of the brooder, but it is getting a little crowded, which it isn't a problem. We have 2 other coops, and the plan was to keep our Rhode Island Reds in the coop that they're currently in right now, and then we were going to move our other birds, such as our barred rocks, our comets, our calicos, into our extremely large coop outside, and then the ducks, they have their own little smaller coop. So everybody is spaced out. But with it being as cold as it is, we're still moving them in the garage to outside, because at night it's still dipping below 30. And although they have feathered out quite a bit, I am kind of anxious about leaving them out all night when it's that cold. I feel safer with them being in the garage, where even if the heat lamp does die on us, the coldest it gets is upper 40s. And if anything does happen like that, they are safe. And I would hate to lose all of them because we move them out too early and they all freeze to death. And I know I'm probably just being overcautious, but I really do worry about them. And I know they're just chickens, but I really like the chickens. They've been so much fun. And, my 2 favorites, Asshole and Raptor, I love those little buddies, especially Asshole. She's just so cuddly. So she is like the only pet chicken that I have. The rest are, dual purpose egg and meat, but she's just so cute and lovable, and I would be really sad if anything happened to her. So I want to make sure that they're safe and happy in the garage. And when the time is right, we will move them out permanently, not just in the mornings when it's warm enough and then drag them back inside as the sun goes down. I will say, in those rare moments where we have a couple of nice days, we have been getting a lot of projects done. Danny brought in some square pallet boxes that we have made into compost bins that are super nice. And then we have also been getting the field prepped for seeding. I kind of threw some test seeds out of clover in a couple of areas just to see. We have a couple of really nice days coming up and some not so horrible days. So hopefully we'll have some clover budding. And if it does really well, I'll pick up some different kind of seeds, some alfalfa, some timothy, and I'll reseed the field. One thing that was kind of fun though this week, when we were prepping the field, we were raking up some old pine straw, moving around some horse poop. The dogs were playing with the goat, and I honestly think that Maximilian thinks that he is a dog. He gets the zoomies. It's actually really freaking cute.
know goats are social animals and they do better in herds with other goats. I just am really enjoying the fact that Maximilian's just trying to figure out what he is. He thinks he's a dog. He'll torment the horses. It's kind of really funny because you have one instance where he's zooming around, and then you have another instance where it used to be Dally was in charge of feeding time. She dictated where everyone went. And now you have this goat that's a tenth of her size deciding that your food is now my food. And he'll stand up on his two hind feet, eat out of her feed bucket. And if he gets brave enough, he'll actually knock it down and you'll just see his full head just go floop. And you have this mare just sitting here looking at him like, hey, this is my food, what are you doing? And instead of just kicking the goat out, she'll run over and go kick Mushu out of his spot. I think the only other thing I have to update you on is our white rabbit, Sally. And although it's not bad news, she's just fine. She's still the same cuddly, lovey escape artist. This rabbit has gotten out of her cage 4 times. We have to keep a cinder block on the bottom of it so she doesn't stick her nose through and go bloop, 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 and open up the door. And she's doing good. You know, when she does escape, she just runs right over to the hay bales and just chomps down. So she's doing fine. But earlier in the month, around the 1st and the 2nd, we tried breeding her to our caster buck, Coco. And although Coco was super into her, she wasn't feeling him. The first day we tried putting them together, he tried mounting. We didn't have any successful fall-offs, and she was getting really irritated with him. So we switched their cages, trying to see if we could bring her into heat. And on the second day, on the 2nd, we tried again to get her to reciprocate Coco's feelings. And we let them do their thing. To be honest, I don't think it was very successful. You know, Coco was still very into her, but she wasn't feeling it still. We put a nesting box into the cage, and we're really hoping for baby bunnies, but I'm not too sure. She definitely rearranged the straw I put into the nesting box. As many of you know, if you have rabbits that you're breeding, you will never put the straw properly into a nesting box. And she's been in and out of the nesting box. She's not using it as a litter box. She has a litter box on the top of her cage that she frequently uses. But other than that, there's no fur pulling, there's no signs of babies yet. And she has gotten chunkier, but I've also been feeding her more because we're hoping for babies. And if she doesn't have babies by the 1st or the 2nd, then we'll try breeding her this time. Maybe she'll like, maybe she'll like Peppers better, our broken buck. And I know that she has had babies with Peppers before. She had 3 babies. One unfortunately didn't make it from the previous owner. She might have eaten it. Happens sometimes, right? But the other 2 were very healthy babies, had a cute little broken and another blue-eyed white. So I'm hopeful that if she doesn't have kits this time, we can always try again next month. Hi, Sally. How you doing, Bubba? You have any babies yet? No babies yet, Bubba? It's okay. I know, you're such a pretty girl. That's all the updates I have for you this week on the homestead. And I'd love to hear what your solutions are for growing container blueberries. I have other container plants down to a science, but I keep killing off these guys. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and if you have any video ideas for the weeks coming up, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. I'd love to hear them, but I'll see y'all later, and thanks for watching. Bye.
What you doing, Sid? Sydney. Can I have my chair back? Sydney.
What, Sid?
I want to be in the camera.
You want to be in the camera?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll give you a bracelet.
I don't want a bracelet.
I'll get really what's favorite color.
I do like purple. Thank you. It doesn't fit.
Just do this one. This.
Like that?
Yeah.
This is the biggest ring I've ever had. Thank you. Is it a halo like Little Angel?
No, these are bracelets.
Oh, my bad.
Because